You have to beat the best.
Oh, baby.
To beat the best.
This really deserves
Oh my gosh.
Come
I'm so
on now.
excited.
Never
I'm
a doubt.
So excited.
Never.
there were doubts.
Not
Oh,
for
there
a
is some
moment.
doubts.
Never
There
a
is some
doubt.
doubts.
Never a
in that
doubt.
first game when the bases are loaded, you have to beat the best to be the best. You heard that where? Here first on the Flames Central podcast, powered by Alcova Mortgage. And what did Daddy Yock say?
What else? Let's go ahead and rerun the clip. I would like you to rerun the clip.
Because I have nothing else to do today.
I'd like you to rerun the clip of what my dad told me that we told
Papa Yock.
It's the old prison yard.
If you're gonna get in a fight,
prison yard
knock
philosophy.
the biggest guy out first.
That's it.
And bam. And then
I can't believe this.
Rachel Roop with the right hook.
There it is.
Down she goes.
Yeah.
I mean, literally unbelievable. And then it was like, hey, man, Yock Talk. I mean, this might be the opportunity to talk to the girls because Yock Talk said, hey, listen, we're not talking about we celebrate that Conference USA championship. We're moving on to the next phase.
That's right.
When we talked to Dot before the season started, Dot, what's it going to take to get past that thing? And then, oh no, we're stuck playing the number one team in the nation. Bada bing, bada boom, here we are.
That's it.
I just can't believe
Take down the big dog.
I am just still in shock. So I'm just going to throw this out there. I fell asleep. I watched all day. And then
add this to, remember the Virginia Tech football win when she was like camping and didn't have signal? Add this to that list of great moments in Liberty history that Emily missed. Yeah.
No, so my husband wakes me up at 3 a.m. and just yells, they did it! They didn't. I go, no, they didn't. And I jump out of bed. I'm running around the house.
Baby Cut's sleeping. Now she's all woken up.
Now she's doing somersaults. I was so excited. I'm like, do you realize what this does for not only Liberty softball's program, but this university? And I mean, you're on the front page of ESPN. Yes, it was a big deal. I mean, this is history.
This has never been done.
But the way that they did it, beating the number one seed in the nation.
That's what I mean. Like, the number one seed had never not reached the Super Regional in 20 years of this format. It had never happened, and Liberty knocked them off.
To do it.
And like you said, you said, the way that they did it, because when you're tied at 11. And you're like, and you got the bases loaded, you're like, okay, this is it right here. And then it goes in extra innings and you end up losing. You're like, it so easily mentally in your mind as an athlete, you could go, that was our shot.
That was it.
That was our shot. Now we got to play this next game. Oh no, what's going to happen? But no.
Relentless.
That Dot mental toughness, championship attitude, champion's attitude paid off.
Let me just say this.
Wait, just to tease, guys, just to tease. We are going to get Dot and some of the girls on the call here in just a moment.
Potentially could be on the party bus.
This could be a party bus. So stay with us here.
How could you not, if you're a Liberty hitter, look down at third base and you see Dot rocking the aviators, just looking like she was so dialed in.
She was dialed in.
How could you not have confidence with that?
Gosh.
And Dot, there were a couple shots on the TV of Dot just giving one of those to her hitters, like, let's go. I'm like, I'm ready to go right now.
And I love her energy in the mid-game interviews.
She was a little feisty too.
Jesus loves
and she was a little feisty in those interviews too.
She was
and I like that.
That last game.
Yeah,
because
well,
she was basically calling out.
Yeah. We can get into that. But yes, the mental toughness, intestinal fortitude, whatever you want to call it, after losing that game to come back and battle. And yes, is this an upset technically? Yes, absolutely. A&M was the number one overall seed. Was there anything in those 3 games against them that made you feel like, oh, that was kind of fluky, this little scrappy underdog kind of got a couple of breaks? No way. No. In fact, the breaks went against Liberty.
It was the opposite.
They had to overcome it. Like, that's what made this all the more impressive. If you just flipped on the TV and you did not know who's the number one team in the nation, you would say, are these the top 2 teams in the? Are these 2 top 5 teams going at? Like, that's what it was.
That's right. That's right. And then the couple of the calls. I don't know if you want to go on your umpire rant right now.
I'm gonna go on a rant.
I was like,
They overcame a lot.
Just relentless when you're playing against the number 1 seed, but then you're also playing against the umpires too. I just felt like I'm saying like just some of the calls and I don't know, like the obstruction
that
call
blew my mind.
There were just so many, even in that first game of the day, there were just like some runs that were just given to Texas A&M. It felt like that, even the broadcasters were being very clear that this is really not fair. And all that.
Then the interesting one would have been too if Dot, she'd already used both her reviews. Right. And the play at the plate, when they had the force at the home plate, I'm like, dude, she's got the ball.
Oh, when Savannah Justice snow-coned it. Yeah.
And obviously one run ended up being really important.
Exactly. So bases loaded. I think it was a full count, 2 outs. KK Madry up. Oh, man. See, I think I've said this before. I used to just, like, before the pitch was thrown, just, like, I'm going to swing at this one or I'm not. So I can't really judge, It was high.
Yeah.
It could have been ball 4. There's the ball game. You win. Now that it's the way that they won, I'm like, okay, I like the way that this worked out better. But that could have been a heartbreaker if they did lose.
Sure, and that's one where that you would probably think about for the rest of your life.
Right.
And now that's all in the past. It doesn't matter.
And now it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. And let's just throw this out there too. I know we're just like ping pong.
Oh, it's just so exciting though. We have it's chaos.
Rachel Root.
I love chaos.
Rachel Root. If you're doing like a Mount Rushmore of Liberty athletes,
tell me what
she's on it. She is firmly on it. Like, you talk about clutch performances.
Joe's etching out the stone.
Like, that is it. And, like, for a team that has a lot of transfers, and Dot has done an awesome job building this roster with girls from all over the place, like, she's the one, Liberty through and through, her whole career. You're telling me she couldn't have gone anywhere she wanted?
Oh.
Anywhere she wanted. She's one of the best
100%.
players in the country. And she stayed here, and I just kept thinking, after they lost the first game on Sunday, I kept thinking, man, like, she's done it the way you want a kid to do it, right? Like, it would be such a shame if she doesn't get to see it through and to make the history of being the first team to go to SUPERS. And to see her play such a huge role in making that happen. Like, literally, our kids had gone to bed. We went running in after she hit the home run. I'm like, Jack, get out here. Evelyn, get up. Like, they come stumbling out. What happened? And then watched it through the end. It was so cool.
That tied it?
Jesse tied it with the home run.
And
then Root put him up. But the other cool thing was, last night during the first game, we had the Awana banquet at church. So we're there, the Awana ceremony. And so, like, I'm watching the game during that, but I'm looking around, like, the church and seeing other guys and other people with their phones watching it, and everybody kind of signaling to each other during the game, like, hey, you see that? Oh, you see that? It was so cool to see. So that's what sports does, but it was so cool to see so many people invested in this team.
I thought of that. I just thought of it now. It's funny. So I'm in a group text with a bunch of hockey guys, and they're all from Canadians, and they're big Toronto Maple Leafs fans. The Leafs were playing the Panthers in Game 7.
Just puking all over themselves, unfortunately.
Oh, yes, poor Redskins.
So I'm in this hockey text group, right? And I'm watching the softball game, and I'm like, the boys are like, we suck, we're getting killed, blah, blah. And so I'm like, switch over to the Flames softball right now and watch that. And then my son Ben is in the group text, and he's at home, right? And he sends a text in the group text, and all it said, he's talking about Rachel Root. It just said, that girl swings the bat more aggressively and with more speed than anyone on that field by a lot.
Yeah.
Right? And I said, Ben plays Tuesday night softball. He knows what he's talking about.
It's just I don't know. It's so amazing. I can't get a smile off my face. Like, God is so good because there are so many other chances that Liberty softball could have gone to super regionals. But the way he wrote this story and for this team, I'm just so happy for Dot. I'm so happy for these girls, especially like you mentioned, the ones who stuck around, who could have gone anywhere. There's some like text or threads on Twitter about some girls getting like $50,000 bonuses for going in the next round, or all this like crazy money that we always talk about getting thrown around with NIL. But they believe in this program, they believe in Dot and just her vision for what's to come, and it's coming to life right before our eyes.
And we've said it too with what Dot has done. Like, a lot of these transfers, these weren't like, oh, they hit 400 where they were, and then we outbid everybody for them.
Right.
Like, these are girls that developed.
Yes.
Like KK Madry, when she came here from LSU, obviously you knew she was a great athlete. You see how she's developed, and now she's a flat-out offensive weapon. Like, same with Paige Dorr. She has exploded
and she
since
was a
she's come
walk-on
here.
at Oregon State.
Right. Like, you see the development. So that's really cool to see these girls come here, and it's not like what we see with, like, oh, Texas football program spending $40 million on their roster to go, like, whatever. Like, it's not like that. You're picking off the best, whatever.
Driving Lamborghinis.
Right. These are girls that come here for a reason because they want to be a part of this culture. And then Dot and her staff has taken them and developed them into absolute killers.
I mean,
that is what is so awesome.
You just gave Dot her 2026 recruiting pitch.
I mean, that's it, though.
I mean, that's it, right?
That's it. And in fact, she said that. She's like, we're not going out looking for them. They're looking for us.
Yeah.
And it's true. Like, people are going to be knocking on the door like crazy. Like, let us join your program.
So whenever I woke up and found out this news at 3 a.m., I started writing the video. You know, the hype video.
Oh, really? Okay.
I just had this vision.
You need to send it to the creative.
I do need to send it to creative. I'm sure they're not busy.
Yeah.
But it's just like, this is what it looks like.
Yeah.
This is what it looks like to build a program the right way. This is what it looks like. I know, I'm gonna get emotional. You know, like, we are not
Let
a
her go,
center.
Joe. Let her go.
No, I don't want to see her get emotional. She's gonna start crying. She's really like,
No, but seriously, like, this is what it looks like.
Yes.
And just have that as the theme of so many, like, areas of this program and how Dot has done it the right way. And there's other programs on this campus that have also done it, that are doing it the right way. But this is just, I mean, is this the biggest win in school history?
So we were talking about
before you touch on that, while you're just on top of my head, so while you're doing the graphics for this this video, this hype video, right?
Yeah.
Is there any way at the very end you could have, like, because we're going to Oregon, the Fiesta Bowl score, then you go to the basketball score, right?
And owe them.
And then I know then we owe them, and then it just flips and it's Dot, and she pulls down the aviators. She looks into the camera and she does that.
Yeah.
This is what it looks like to set a duck on fire.
Yeah. Listen,
we gotta get
here's
Oregon.
the thing.
We gotta get Oregon.
There is not a person in the state of Oregon that thinks Liberty is good at any sport. This is when we change that perception. We change it now.
It's now
But,
or never.
hey, before I know we got a lot of stuff to cover.
Right now.
Kaylin Yoder.
Yes.
Can we talk about her?
Yes.
She
and
came
what
in
that
and closed
does.
out this game.
I know
okay,
that.
not sure. I wasn't sure if you were aware. But she came in first off.
Yes.
Elena Escobar pitched her guts out on the field. Over 400 pitches in the tournament.
Holy smokes.
And she gets pulled, and she's balling, and I don't blame her. She thinks, like, this is the last time I'm ever pitching, on a college field. I let my team down, which she didn't. She didn't. Like, can you see the way that Texas A&M, like, just murdered people all week long, all season long, and she held them down for the most part in this last game. But she's balling. Kaylin Yoder had pitched once in 2 weeks, and she got knocked around the one time she did pitch in the game we lost in the conference tournament. She had not pitched well in that one. She gets the call. She comes strutting in there like, I've been waiting my whole life for this. Like, this is what I'm born to do. She had a smile on her face. She was feeling it.
You ready to go?
It was so cool to see her have that success and to just be able to grit and fight and scrap her way through it.
And what does that do for her confidence moving into this super regional round?
To get a strikeout to end it like that was just so cool. I was just so happy for her. Like, she is going to be probably the face of that pitching staff moving forward. And so to get that kind of experience and to come through on that stage was just so awesome.
And you could really, when she came into the game, you got a great sense for the culture of the team because when she stepped in to warm up and the other girls that were coming up to her and talking to her and they're in that pressure, they were still laughing and trying to keep it loose but yet completely focused. And then, I'd like to, when we have her, I'd like to ask her about when you can't see it on the camera. So she warming up, she comes out, she's gonna warm up, and there's like 3-4 girls standing around her. She gets her first pitch to warm up, right? And you don't see it on the camera, but she lets it go, and then everybody starts laughing, right? So I have a feeling that she must have just sailed her first warm-up pitch like 10 feet, a little bit outside, like one of those. So I hope we get the opportunity to ask her about that. But, and then like I said, it was like, you got to experience the ability to handle pressure situations, but have a culture that's been created through the coaching staff, through the players, through everything. Like, we're just going to do our best, but softball's not what identifies us and who we are. and let's just go have fun. And,
this is what it looks like to play the game
see what
and
happens.
not be identified by the game. That's
right.
another line
yeah.
in my feature.
And so yeah, that was, I thought that was just incredible to watch her.
You mentioned it at the top of the show, Matt, how like you wouldn't know if there wasn't seeds next to these teams. I mean, Liberty in that first game yesterday made six errors.
Still was in the fight.
And you're still tied and going into extras with the number 1 seed in the nation. Like that right there, you could just kind of feel that obviously Texas A&M was getting the momentum, but the Lady Flames were just like falling apart a little bit.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
How they still were able to gather themselves and come back and force extras, it's just, I don't know.
And I wonder,
it was unbelievable.
and hopefully we get to ask Dot, like, if that was part of the message between games. Like, listen, you're down. But like, look at the scoreboard. 6 errors.
Yeah.
We did not play our best at all.
Clean it up.
And you're right there with the number 1 team in the country.
Right.
Just play your game. Don't throw the ball all over the yard. We'll be fine. And they were. And it took them some time to get the bats going. But here's the other thing, too. You were facing a pitcher who had been an All-American.
Yep.
Their ace. And you lit her up every time you saw her.
Have you guys seen?
Blah, blah, blah.
Have you guys seen like reaction from Texas A&M like on social media? Or I know like
I
obviously.
didn't go looking for it.
Yeah.
I was tempted to late last night.
Because those fans are getting a little
it was
chippy.
Feisty. It was a feisty environment, but that's what you want in those situations.
You know, I was also thinking, I was like, because KK took the, she ball 4, right? But you know what? Let me tell you, we had KK on the podcast, right? And when you walked away from that podcast after spending some time with KK, I'm going to promise you one thing. When she stepped to that plate, don't feel bad about heading that pop fly and not taking ball 4. You know why? Because you know her motto is, you can tell it, right? You look in her eyes and you can tell it. Scared money don't make no money.
Right.
And that's how she stepped up to the plate.
Supremely confident.
Scared money don't make no money. We're swinging
I think that was the
plate.
quote. You know, like Little League kids have the quote like underneath their graphic.
In their hat.
Scared money don't make no money.
Okay, enough about hearing from us on our reaction to what happened in this incredible historic moment for the Lady Flames. Let's check in and hear straight from them. All right, we are now joined by the Lady Flames party bus. Woo! Let's go! Wow, look at those champions.
That is so cool.
Root, there it is.
Tell me where the party's at. Root, there it is.
Champions!
Coach, you did it. Never a doubt. Tell us how you're feeling right now, Coach. I can't imagine how happy you are.
First of all, we know we're so blessed. God is so good. He's just given this team amazing talents. And like the Lord said, to show your talents to the world, and they sure have at the biggest stage He put us on. Facing the number 1 seed in the nation and taking them down.
Yeah.
Flames are hot. We're on fire.
We're not even 60 seconds in and I'm already crying.
Coach, we were talking about losing the first game Sunday. What was the message between games? Because a lot of teams would fold after falling the way that it went down. What was your message before that final game?
Well, the message was, after I cooled down a little bit and gave them a chance to cool down, was we scored 11 runs and had 6 errors and still should have beat that team. So we will take them down again since we beat them yesterday. We can do it again.
Coach, would you say this is the deepest team that you've ever coached here at Liberty, and why?
It is definitely the most talented and deepest team of talent. And why? They've proven it. They've made history. They've taken Liberty softball to super regionals. Our plan is to go farther. We're not done. And so, we've reached 1 goal, but we got a lot more to go.
Dot, if you had to give an unsung hero award to this team for this weekend's, these games, who would you give it to?
Unsung would be little Koa right here.
Oh,
yeah.
That is the daughter of our director of ops. That's Haley Sampson. She was thrown into the fire with us in January. Exactly.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she did such a great job. But we've got Coach Will here. We got strength and conditioning coach, Coach Casey Fagan-Grant here.
Yeah.
Coach Sammy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the party bus.
Here's the party. You ready? Our boss right here.
Coach.
You can't beat that.
No. Coach.
When the brass is being worn and he's with us, it's pretty awesome. Yes, what do you got?
Coach, Kalen Yoder. How much of a stud is Kalen Yoder coming in? Kalen.
Yoder.
Hey.
Yoder.
Listen, hey, we had a question. Your first warm-up pitch, we couldn't see where it went. We just saw everyone start laughing. Where did it go?
It went to the backstop. It was just a really bad pitch. And then everyone started saying how awful it was. And then I had to laugh because, yeah, so I heard it from the crowd.
Hey,
other than that pitch, what was your mindset going into the circle in that kind of moment?
I literally just asked God to help me. I was like, whatever you got for me, I hope that it's a win. But if it's not, it is what it is. But I was like, I don't have anything else to do. Like, obviously, I didn't pitch that weekend. And that's like the most hostile environment I've ever played in. So
it was hostile. And when she threw that pitch, it was like a ground ball. And they started laughing. You should have seen her face. She laughed it off, and after that was hitting 68, 69 miles per hour.
Hey,
unbelievable.
That's news to me. I did not know that.
Sorry, I didn't mean to jump the gun with you. Friend of the
Well,
show, is that Paige Dorr?
Here's
Friend of
Paige
the
Dorr.
podcast. Hey, what do you remember what you told us? In order to be the best, you have to beat the best.
Exactly. And he had no faith.
Matt.
You said no.
No.
That was Matt said that?
No.
Matt had no faith.
No.
Paige, what did I tell you? What did I tell you on the podcast? If you're going to get into a fight, knock the biggest guy out
biggest
first.
dog out first.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
KK, how are you
hi.
doing? I got a question for you. Was that ball 4 in game 1 yesterday?
Yes, it was. I was so upset.
And
but,
you know what?
Everything happens for a reason.
Doesn't matter now.
Doesn't matter
now. Doesn't matter now. What a tournament. That was unbelievable.
You were a stud all tournament long. You're so fun to watch. And whenever we were watching you get in the box, I'm like, oh, KK, this is a big moment, but I know how confident she is. We're just fine.
Yes.
She is amazing.
Unbelievable.
KK, you know why?
Is that Escobar over there trying to hide?
KK.
Don't even.
No.
I know your arm is tired after those 400 pitches. How are we feeling?
Little ibuprofen?
I'm okay. I'm ready for next weekend.
You are so fun to
Awesome.
watch.
Awesome
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Whoop,
Great job.
There it is. Whoop, there it is. Tell us about some of your big moments in this tournament.
I mean, I think everyone just played their role and did what we had to do, not make the moment too big, and it was just a lot of fun.
You
Sorry,
sound
I
like
don't
you're
have a
losing your
voice.
voice.
Yeah.
That's
Great,
a good thing.
Yeah. How quickly for you guys did it? Oh, there's Alyssa Hinault. She's my unsung hero,
That's
by the way.
unsung hero right there.
We talk about this, her performance. How quickly for you guys did it go from celebrating the win to somebody saying, hey, there's more to do. We can do a lot more. We're not done with this just yet.
I feel like it didn't even sit in with us that we won for a while. So I think we were just kind of shocked for a while. But then once we realized what we just did, I think we're like, okay, go time. We got more games to play.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
Savannah Jessie, yeah, it looked like a snowball on the replay, but that was just or snow cone. Yeah,
you got robbed, Jesse. We'll say that right.
Robbed.
I know it was unfortunate. I thought we had her.
You did. But then that huge hit, homer, and yesterday's game. How was this weekend like? What was it like for you?
Well, I actually had went like 0 for the whole entire weekend, so I was just trying to stay patient.
I wasn't gonna bring it up. I'm just.
It's okay. Yeah, I went over the whole weekend, so I mean, it was just a delightful moment to be able to do that, and I tried to just stay within myself and look for a pitch I knew I could drive. But I mean, the Lord was with us the whole time, so I'm glad I was able to get it done.
Rachel Crane.
She's hiding.
Listen,
She's
if they're going to call you for obstruction anyway, you might as well form tackle them next time.
I know. Yeah, that
Put
was
them down. If they're going to call it, you might as well just put them down.
Yeah, I should have.
Well, here's one of my favorites. Is when there was a shot to Rupi and she threw the ball to first for the double play.
Yes.
And if I could get a picture of Bryn catching that ball on the plate for the double play, it was awesome.
That was crazy.
Well, Coach.
Are you seeing us okay?
Yep. It's perfect.
Yep.
Bryn, great job at first base in this series. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Coach.
She's a woman of a lot of words.
Yes, I see that.
Coach, you have obviously been through it all from building this program. What is this moment like for you as a coach? And just how God wrote this story. You guys had other chances to make it to Supers, but the way that he wrote this story for you guys to take down the #1 seed, because when we were at the watch party, we saw some of the faces of your team in reaction of being in a regional with the #1 overall seed in the tournament. Just what is this moment like for you as a coach?
Well, it's actually, I've said it before and I'll say it again, that God is faithful. And the beauty about it is that we know that we're here to train champions for Christ. And these ladies train to honor him both on and off the field. And it's just, we've been there over and over and over again, just not able to get over that hump. And last night we accomplished that. And we give all the praise to Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. And he's given us the talents to do it, the passion to persevere and enjoy what we're doing. So you guys know that we've always been right there, and now we're there. So let's get it done. Let's go all the way. We got a challenge against Oregon at Oregon, and so we're going to be preparing for that. And we're excited to have the opportunity to show it again to the nation.
Last thing for me, Coach. We kind of owe Oregon by this point, don't you think? Like as a school, we kind of owe them one. So go out there, and we're all obviously rooting for you. Let's go take care of business. We owe them one. That's all I'm going to say. Like, they've kind of had our number here lately.
Our record.
There's been a nice little rivalry developing.
Well, it's time to go hunting for ducks.
That's right.
Coach, last one from me. And really just for all of you coaches, what does this do for this program? And you turned on me again, Coach. There you go. What does this kind of victory and moving to the super regional round do for this Liberty program moving forward? I know you guys aren't done yet, but what does it do for this program?
Well, what it does is we've been on the national stage, but now it's even bigger. God had a plan to be playing against the #1 ranked team in the nation. Everybody was watching. My text messages, I think I'm around 450 of them right now.
I'm glad you texted me back then. Thank you, Coach.
Yeah. But the point is, like, we've always said, when your best is required, that deliver, give it your best. You do the ordinary things, extraordinary things happen. And we've been right there, like I said. And as the 6th regional we've been in, the 5th in a row, to be able to get to the Supers, we're going to seize the moment, people. Flames Nation, you keep watching. You're going to enjoy the show.
I love it.
I'm telling you, Coach Dodd, from our mailbag and just online, you guys are getting a lot of fans, gaining a lot of Liberty fans and Liberty softball fans. It's been so fun to watch.
Absolutely.
We are so beyond happy and excited for you guys.
Get home safe.
Hey, Dot, do one thing for me real quick. I want you to pull those aviators down just a little bit and then just do the eyes right there, back and forth. Pull them down, right?
That's it right there.
No, you got to pull the aviators down, and you got to say, we're going hunting for ducks.
Yeah.
Let's do it. We've got a great flight coming up right here, but we're going to be back to work. You know it.
Thank you.
Congratulations, girls.
Thanks, Coach. Congrats, girls.
Go Flames and go Dogs.
Again, so excited for the Lady Flames.
Here we go, Oregon, baby.
They're coming back home for a couple days to regroup before heading out to Oregon. That series, it's
Friday.
a best of 3.
Yeah.
So best of 3. Oregon is the 16th seed. That doesn't mean
Overall
anything.
seed, yes, right. It's not like in basketball, right? Yes,
right.
just
overall.
Yeah.
Only 16 teams remain. It's
Here's
wild.
the thing.
And Liberty is the only group of 5. Did you notice that?
Yeah, it's like
They're-
9 SEC teams.
Oh yeah, we went through the list.
Yeah.
And it is
who.
a big dog hotel.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, everybody's staying at the Big Dog Hotel, and then there's Liberty in there. Hey, I'm gonna bust up this party.
Yeah.
10 o'clock Friday night.
Whew,
so
that's
late
gonna
one.
be-
No
I'm
chance
gonna-
Emily makes first pitch of that one.
Another or
I'm
not
just
a
gonna
chance.
throw this out there. Nap time or half day Friday.
You can take a half
for the
Yes!
for the group.
half day.
So then
Friday, half day, Friday.
We're gonna all be
half
out doing
day.
conversation.
wait a second.
baseball.
I'm gonna be doing baseball.
Yeah, I know.
Wait a second.
That's
not fair. I'm
no
gonna be
more
doing
half day.
Friday. Late day.
Late
Friday.
night Friday.
We've
We'll
talked
figure
about
it
this
out.
before, though, and they say it in baseball and softball, and it is true. It's a lot harder to make it out of a regional than it is to make it through a super, right? Because now it's 2 or 3, same opponent. Like one or two breaks here, you're in. You're in the College World Series.
Yeah.
And that's where Liberty is now.
That is so
I just
wild to say.
want to say one more thing, though, because I went back and looked, because it was like a year ago that we were sitting here. Joe, apparently, he wasn't on that show. I went and looked. He was traveling
you
or
called
something.
him
Yeah.
out.
I don't know where Joe was.
Of course he did.
Joe
I don't know
was
where.
fly
Of course he
fishing.
did.
He was fly fishing in Montana.
Yeah, I don't know where Joe was.
Probably.
No idea.
Yeah.
But we were sitting here saying, so close,
So
one
close.
out away.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, the motto for the team moving forward needs to be leave no doubt. Like that needs to be the motto, right? Kick
I'll
the
add
door
it in the
down.
future.
Leave no doubt.
Leave no doubt.
That's it. Like forget this next year, no doubt. We've got to do everything better to another level than we've done it before. And you saw that throughout the year.
And you heard that from Paige Dorr.
You heard
when
that
she
from
was
Paige
on.
Dorr. You beat the Alabama and other SEC teams in the beginning of the year. It's like, okay, wow, okay. You're in the top 25 for weeks and weeks and weeks.
Leave no doubt.
You destroy Conference USA. You don't even lose a single series the entire conference season.
Doubt not left.
You're in a battle. You lose a game in the conference tournament. You have to go 10 innings to squeak one out to eventually go on and win a conference championship.
Why doubt there is none?
No.
Are you writing
doubt.
this feature
You
or
get
am
in.
I?
Oh
the
no,
heck?
they've got to.
Oh,
you
no.
get sent to the #1 overall team. Oh, they got robbed. Oh, they shouldn't have been sent there. Blah blah. Like, forget it. It doesn't matter. We're gonna go and take care of business. They stop them in the first game. They set the tone, and then to be able to have, as we said, the mental toughness to close it out like this. It's one of the great teams, whether or not you say it's the greatest win or wins in Liberty history. It's certainly one of the great teams that we've ever seen on this.
Leave no doubt.
There
Dot
you go.
Richardson said
And
that
why
this-
stop now?
Why
stop now?
Wow.
Dot did say that this was the best team that she's ever
Why
coached here
stop
during
now?
her time at Liberty.
Yeah.
And I will say, when you're like looking at
Put that on
whoever's
a
up to
t-shirt.
bat and
Sorry. Put that on a t-shirt. Sorry. Why stop now?
when
Put it
you're
on a t-shirt.
when you're looking at whoever's up to bat in a big moment these last few games, or really this entire regional round, I didn't have a doubt. I was like, oh, Savannah Watley, she doesn't even have batting gloves. Like that's pretty. That's that's
Some
pretty
people
hardcore.
don't. I think she probably has access to batting gloves. She
Well,
just doesn't wear them.
I know,
Is that
but
what you
that's
meant?
she doesn't
Oh,
wear
yeah, I
batting
got one.
gloves.
I got it.
I mean, that's like
You're trying to make a statement.
Right.
that is a statement
That's
move.
right.
Like,
Yeah.
but you just had no doubt. The whole lineup.
Well,
You're
think
just
about
stacked.
this. Think about this, and then we'll move on. I know we want to get to baseball and Coach LeCroy. But Alyssa Hanault, she was the CAA Player of the Year last year at Campbell. She transfers here. She got only 37 at-bats during the regular season. Like, she didn't play a lot.
Yeah.
But as things shook out, Brooke Roberts not available, some things happen. Suddenly, she's playing every game in the biggest games of the year. Gets a hit in every single game, drives in multiple runs, like steps up. 37 at-bats in an entire season. Like less than an at-bat a game.
Right.
And yet, when you need her, she's ready. The coaches had her ready. The coaches had her confident. She came in. Alexia Carrasquillo, the backup catcher in the first game on Sunday.
Right.
Pinch hit, comes in, bangs one off the wall. Like, that's a
Carrasquillo!
freshman. Like, they've got, like, they're just, we talk to Dot, and everyone always says, oh, she just pumps me up. Like, you see that with this team. Like, every single player steps in, and it's almost like everything Dot has been telling them their entire careers, like, you just see it in their eye. Like, they believe what she tells them, And they have so much confidence, no matter who it is, no matter how much playing time, no matter what happened the time before, like it doesn't matter. They expect to go out there and succeed.
Right. It's not like it's just surface level, like, oh yeah, she believes in me. No, like they like truly
they've internalized
believe and instilled it into their hearts.
I don't think we haven't given enough credit to Escobar throwing 400 some pitches. That's incredible.
That's
incredible.
Crazy.
And
my arm hurts even thinking
and that's
about
absolutely incredible that she stood in there for the 400 some pitches. That's insane.
Yeah.
And you know what the key factor is? With a name like Escobar, you do hold the intimidation factor. There is no doubt about that. And she's unbelievable.
Nasty. Yeah,
Yoder
she was
Farms
great.
closing it out. All right. Congrats again to Liberty softball. So excited to see what they can do out in Eugene, Oregon. Okay, let's shift gears. Baseball, pretty big deal. The Flames are hosting the CUSA Baseball Tournament coming up here this week. It starts on Wednesday. Got the whole top teams of the conference coming to Lynchburg. The weather looks decent, which is good. I know that's a
Wednesday
big.
looks good.
Wednesday, it's like 30.
Morning could be some rain, but hopefully it moves out.
It starts at 9 a.m., right?
Yeah, I think the first game's like 9:30. But yeah, thankfully the Flames did make the tournament. That was a little
win over Dallas Baptist.
Yeah, got to win.
They win Dallas Baptist.
Almost beat them another time. So yeah.
Yeah, how was the call this weekend?
Great.
Yeah,
great call. Great games. I mean, the last one wasn't great. Liberty got no hit on Saturday, but the first two games are right in it, and they should go in with some confidence with how they played. Yeah. And hey, you're in. You're hosting.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen. You win that first game. Like then you start doing the we believe thing where it's like, this is what we've been talking about all year, see? And then you're off and running.
Okay, well, we're doubling up this week because now we're going to a conversation to talk more about the tournament with head coach Bradley LeCroy. So happy to be joined by Coach Bradley LeCroy. Coach, it's been a while. I mean, we have to be talking about CUSA tournament baseball for you to come back on the podcast. What's going on?
It's the first invite I've gotten. That's a fair answer.
That's a fair answer.
But happy to be here.
Yeah, there's so much that we need to catch up with you because you were just hired whenever we had you on the podcast for the first time. So how have things been? Congratulations on getting that 8th seed to get in the tournament. Coach, you made it interesting, keeping us on the edge of our seat there at the end.
Yeah, it's been great. Obviously, we've had some great moments this season. We've dealt with a lot of injuries. We didn't play up to our expectations in conference play, but we figured out a way to get in the conference tournament, which we're hosting, and we feel good about our chances.
Yeah.
It always seems that this team rises to the occasion. When we play a better opponent, we play better. And so we're looking forward to a great week.
I know. I was wondering if you guys were going to see if you could go into the ACC tournament and compete in that this year.
We thought about putting a waiver in and just showing up in Durham.
Yeah.
But the teams probably wouldn't like that, being 7-3 versus the ACC.
Yeah.
So interestingly enough, you finished with Dallas Baptist, the #1 seed regular season champ. You start with them now in the conference tournament. How does that change things? A team you just saw as opposed to if it was a team you had seen a month ago or a month and a half ago?
Yeah, I think it's a good thing, right? I mean, we're familiar with them. We're familiar with their pitchers. Our guys are familiar with them. We should have some confidence. We beat them once. Game 1 was a really close game. So I think it's a good thing rather than having to play somebody we played a month and a half ago and go back and refresh the scouting reports and refresh the guys on, hey, this guy's going to throw this. And so I think it's a really good thing.
Who do you think has stepped up the most? You mentioned the injuries. Who has impressed you with stepping up and filling a role that you weren't really expecting?
Yeah, I think that, Easton Swafford has really stepped up, a guy who started at the beginning of the year, kind of lost his job. And then thrown back in the mix because of injuries, and he's performed at a high level. Tanner Marsh has been unbelievable all year, and Jackson Sorensen's starting to swing the bat better. And we need him to have a big week.
With it being your first year here, what's been the most difficult part of the transition, maybe from what you expected it was going to be, what is obviously said something about the injuries, but what it's turned out to be, and then also from the culture aspect, like how difficult has it been to establish what you really, really want to establish here at Liberty?
Yeah, like I told the guys, no matter if it's year 1 or year 10, my expectations will never be lowered here for this program. We had a really good first 25 games of the season, and then we've struggled at times, and injuries have some of that to played into that. But I think we've got a really good culture. Obviously, we still got a lot of baseball to play this year. And then, we'll evaluate the program after the year. Obviously, player acquisition, going forward this summer is going to be huge for us to fill some gaps and some holes that we have. But we got a really good core coming back as well.
What's the biggest difference between regular season and now a conference tournament? And do you manage it differently than you would? Like, take me through maybe like, okay, in your mind, we're making the change now to a conference tournament. This is what we have to do differently.
Yeah, I think you manage it a little bit differently, especially in our situation where we have to win the conference tournament to get in the postseason. So, you have your starting pitcher, then everybody else, you don't forecast 4 days later for who's going to start. Like, everybody's available because the game you're playing that day is the most important game. You can't worry about 3 days from now. And maybe you change a little bit on your offensive philosophy side as far as maybe playing for a run early in the game because momentum is so big, right, in the dugout. But at the end of the day, too, I tell the guys all the time that it's not always the best team that wins. It's the team that plays the best that day. So we just got to play the best that day no matter who we're playing.
It seems like in these tournaments, you always get down into, day 2, day 3, whatever, and there's somebody on the mound that you're like, I mean, this guy hasn't thrown but 2 innings in the last month. How do we end up here?
Yeah.
Pitching depth, so important.
Right.
Do you feel like you're in a decent spot in terms of your depth to be able to, however this shakes out, hopefully it's a long stay in the tournament, be able to, ride it out?
Yeah, we do. I mean, especially obviously we're unsure about Matheson and his status, but Liegenfelter has thrown really well the past 3 weeks, which gives us another starter. And we've thrown some guys out of the bullpen that in the past 2 weeks had to step up, so they got some experience. But yeah, you're right. You make it a Saturday or Sunday, and you're throwing guys who haven't been thrown in the fire much this season. But luckily, we've gotten them some experience the past couple weeks.
Go ahead, man.
No, go ahead.
I'm say with sort of play what Matt said. Now you step up to the plate offensively, and you're like, hey, we've got to be. Do you coach your kids to maybe be a little bit more aggressive in swinging the bat and trying to find a way to get on base? But obviously, there's a fine line between we don't want to chase pitches and be stupid with things.
Yeah, I think a lot of it depends on who we're facing, pitching wise, right? If he's a strike thrower and his percentages are really high, then you got to be aggressive because he's not going to walk you and he's not going to give you the free pass. And then if it's the other way, then especially at the bottom of the order, we're going to be a little bit more selective. Because those guys are trying to get on base to flip it to the top of the order. So a lot of it depends on matchups, what our guys do well, what the pitcher we're facing does well, and then we'll try to figure out from there. Because, our job as coaches is to put our players in the best position to succeed, right? And if that's to be aggressive from pitch one, we'll do that. If it's to be a little bit more selective, we'll do that.
Hopefully Flames Nation will come out and support the Flames during this CUSA tournament run. How much of an advantage is it for you guys to be hosting this tournament and playing at home?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, obviously we're playing at our ballpark. We don't have to travel anywhere today. We get to sleep in our own beds. We get to, choose the game time. So we get to play at 4 o'clock. We don't have to play at 9 a.m. and take BP at 7 a.m. So that's always a positive. But yeah, it's huge. We know we'll have a great crowd and people supporting us, and we just look forward to a great week.
Momentum in the dugout you mentioned as well. Who's the guy, who's the voice that is really, pepping the guys up, and especially when they're down or you guys are behind?
I think it'd be 2 guys. Tanner Marsh, one, just, the way he plays and his competitiveness. And then probably Joe Webb is kind of our spiritual leader, I guess you would say. But he's got tons of energy and, he does a great job of keeping energy going in the dugout.
I didn't do many games this season for baseball, but one of my favorite hits earlier in this season was you telling me how Tanner Marsh has improved. And he's like, yeah, he's going to class, and really.
And then he said that. And then when we asked him about that, it's like, what's the biggest difference? He's like, I go to class a lot more.
My
so,
grades,
so good.
My grades are up because I'm actually showing up. I'm like,
he's grown a lot.
Yeah,
he has.
Yeah, no, he's
That's
great.
Been great to see.
Well, hey, we're fired up, Coach. I know it's been kind of a roller coaster throughout the regular season. None of that matters. So that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it. So So get that first one, and then it's all out there.
That's right. Well, appreciate you guys. Look forward to a great week.
Yeah, best of luck, Coach.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thanks for your
Appreciate
time.
it.
Big shout out to Coach LeCroy. Hopefully the Flames can,
Here, I'm just going to throw it out there. I don't make a lot of bold predictions when it's not football season. If Liberty can win the first game over Dallas Baptist, they're going to win the tournament. I'm just going to say that right now.
Whoa, that is bold.
If they win game one, they're taking the whole shebang.
That is very bold. Hey, before we get to some mailbag questions, just want to give a shout out to Liberty Women's Outdoor Track and Field for winning yet another conference championship.
Bam.
Unfortunately, the men lost again to Kennesaw State. They're really, really good. So the ladies got the freshman of the meet, Bethany Tate. Men's freshman was Elijah Sherrard, which is Coach
Sherrard's son.
Yep. From Coach of the Year.
Basketball assistant,
For women's side, Lance Bingham. And then day 3, CUSA champions, Allie Zealand won the 1500. She is just
Consider that done.
Of course she did.
Yeah.
You might as well just carve her name for the next 3 years into that.
Consider it done.
Yeah.
Men won the 4x1 triple jump, discus, and 400 hurdles. So shout out to them. I know I'm not getting everyone in that. Maybe we can touch a little bit more on that.
Talk more.
With track moving on to the regional round. But we're a little crunched for time this week.
Okay, mailbag.
Mailbag.
Thank you. First question comes to us from, Landon. Landon wants to know, is Liberty softball's win over Texas A&M the first D1 win over a number 1 overall team in program history?
Got it.
It is in softball, but in terms of all athletics,
no way.
Field hockey beat number 1 ranked Rutgers in 2021 and number 1 ranked North Carolina in 2023.
Wow.
Okay. But that was regular season.
Could be.
Yeah,
I believe
I
so.
think that those were regular season. I feel
know
like
North
it's
Carolina
different.
was.
I feel like it's different in the championship setting where it's kind of like win or go home.
Well,
But that's just my personal opinion.
Off of that, I still say, as unbelievable as this is, you got field hockey has 2 wins over number 1s, and field hockey played for a national championship.
So you think that's bigger?
I think that's bigger.
I'll agree that is a bigger.
Yeah, I mean to get over
accomplishment.
And
I'll say this
play
is
for a natty.
Absolutely. I'll say this. I'll say this is a. This had a lot more eyeballs on it.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. In terms of the attention nationally that this series got, this is up there with the NCAA tournament win in basketball over Mississippi State. It's up there.
But
among
internally,
those things. Yes.
I mean, you play for natty.
That's the difference.
There's a lot of schools that never had the opportunity to do that in any sport.
Yes,
ever.
that's different.
No, and I'm not discounting those wins for field hockey. I was just saying.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't know they had 2 number 1s over 2 number 2s. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Okay, another mailbag we got from Lewis, and I love getting these from you guys. So I'll just read it to you. He says, never watched much softball, but after hearing Dot and her players on the podcast, my interest was piqued, especially once he had heard about how they played earlier in this regional. So he's like, I casually turned on the first game Sunday.
Oh.
He goes, fast forward a few hours, and my wife, who's also never watched softball, and I are whisper screaming at our TV so we don't wake up our son. Couldn't help but hear Joe yelling, "Roop, there it is," after her home run. Absolutely electric. Keep making history. So, Lewis, thank you. We've had multiple people that have written in saying, we never followed softball.
Yeah.
That wasn't a sport we were all that interested in. But after the interviews we've had on the show with different athletes and with Dot, suddenly they're all in. So that's super cool to hear that the fan base is growing because of that.
I feel like the fan base of softball in general for college softball the last 3 to 5 years has really, really grown. So it's like Liberty's showing up just at the right time.
And honestly, when you think about it, and I know it's not a competition like this, but who's doing a better job on this campus of building a program than Dot Richardson has done? Yeah. You look at the growth at this program, it's unbelievable. Okay, last mailbag.
Okay.
This is from Doug, not our Doug. He said, when the softball seedings came out, he felt like a lot of people, Liberty got no respect. But now looking at it from A&M's perspective, the reward of being the number 1 overall seed is you get Liberty sent to your region. Do you feel like, not that it bothers him, that they kind of got hosed a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's like, we're the top team in the country, and you're going to send them here? Like, that doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are some people that feel that way today.
I mean, I'm sure the Aggie coaching staff is
so.
feeling that way. Like, that is not an unranked team coming to my regional as the number 1 seed. I 100% think that they're feeling that right now.
And I think, too,
even if they won. Like, even if they ended up pulling off,
right.
like, whoa, that was not an easy regional round to get through, even if Texas A&M won the region.
Yeah, because I think, like, if you're a Texas A&M coaching staff, right, they're not looking at rankings. They turn on the film, they look at the players.
Yeah.
Right? And I bet by the time when they did their full scouting reports and then they had to go back to their team, like, hey, guys, guess what? It's what Matt said. It's like, if you didn't know, or maybe you said it, if you didn't know what the rankings were and there was nothing on the screen and you just looked at player for player back and forth, like, man, this is a pretty evenly matched up game. So
last thing for me, and then I know we got to go. I don't understand umpiring in softball.
do it. Go on.
I thought I understood.
You were going to do it.
I apparently don't understand what a strike zone is. Apparently, must be different in softball than baseball.
Very different.
In softball, it's this big and it moves like this throughout the ball game. Like that must be the way it is.
Yep.
Where do they find these people? Like these are the biggest stages of the season. Like these should be the best of the best. What are we doing?
Jason said the same thing. He's like, wow, this is a very different strike zone than baseball. And I'm like, yeah. I mean,
it's like it doesn't make sense.
I agree.
Like even going back to Kalen Yoder, like there were a couple batters in that last inning where getting strike one, anybody knows, like if you're 0-1, like that changes in at bat, right? If the pitcher, they always say, what's the most important pitch? First pitch strike, if you can get in it. Where she poured one in and it's like, nope. You're like, this just changes the whole at bat. What are we doing? The strike zone they survived it. They overcame it all.
I'm telling you, they were playing against the number 1 seed and the umpires because those umpires were making calls. They did not want Liberty to
I don't know about that. I think they might have just been incompetent, but doesn't matter.
This is harsh.
Doesn't matter. Survive.
Oh my gosh, we are going to a Super Regional for the first time in program history. So exciting.
We're gonna have a show next week.
Let's do it. We're having a show.
We were talking about taking a week off.
Thank you. Yes, it is Memorial Day. We will have the podcast on. I'm going to be around if you guys want to do it Monday, but I think a lot of our crew's off, so maybe Tuesday morning. Tuesday, we're going to be talking about the Lady Flames going to the College World Series.
Let's go.
Maybe we'll pack our bags.
Oklahoma City.
And go to Oklahoma City.
Joe?
I mean, let's
Powered by Alcova Mortgage. Look at Joe.
Alcova, get the Alcova RV.
We might get the Alcova RV out.
The Thunder are still in the playoffs, maybe, so we
might
catch a game.
Trade her in for the RV straight up. We'll ride the moped out there.
Hey guys, thanks so much for joining for such an exciting moment in Liberty, really athletics history. We'll have more coming your way next week. For Joe and Matt, I'm Emily. You're listening to the Flames Central podcast, powered by Alcova Mortgage.